Hi guys, it's Carol. How are you? I'm doing good. My daughter Becky came for dinner tonight, and I made chicken and broccoli and rice casserole. And then I made a dessert that I had never made before. We made molten lava cakes. So I kind of filmed sporadically doing that. I'll attach that at the end. My daughter Becky's the one that's going to be in the video with me. That's Molly right there. First, I was going to tell you about two things I read in the news online. In Denton, Texas, which is down near Dallas, a restaurant owner there put up a new sign on his doorway. He and his wife own a 1950s style diner, and she's a retired RN, and they have this diner. Well, you know, our governor lifted the mask order, but businesses can decide what kind of rules they want to have. Well, he said if they get COVID, they'll just have to shut down, and that a lot of their clientele is in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. He doesn't want to risk giving it to them, and he just felt like continuing to wear a mask was just the right thing to do. And so he put up this sign on the front door. It says, a $50 surcharge if I have to explain why masks are mandatory in my diner. $70 surcharge if I have to listen to why you disagree. I'd like to be a business owner. I'd do things like that. His name is Wayne Lacombe, and his wife's name's Kat. And they just felt like that's the right thing to do, to wear a mask. If you want to argue about it, $75. This one is not funny. This is also in Texas, in League City, Texas, at a Jack in the Box. A man came in and he did not have a mask on, and they have a sign on the door that you need to wear a mask. And this man didn't have a mask on. And so the manager approached him and said, to eat inside, you need to have a mask or go through the drive-up to order. And the man took offense to that. He did not want to wear a mask. And the manager explained, if you're walking past other customers eating, you need to have a mask on so you don't give anything to them. If you're inside our building, we require a mask unless you are eating. Well, the guy, I forgot what his name was, but he was 53. I mean, he wasn't a kid. Did not like that, and he stabbed the manager 3 times. The world has gone crazy. The world has just gone crazy. Oh, I also read that the company that makes Monopoly, they're the company that also owns Mr. Potato Head, and decided that the name should just be Potato Head. They decided Monopoly needed updating, and so the community chest cards or the fines are getting changed to things like you fail to recycle, pay, blah, blah, blah. My goodness. There is a Monopoly game called Amarillo-opoly. Now, I want to buy that sometime. I would like to have that because each of the pieces of real estate is a place here in Amarillo. So I want to get Amarillo-opoly sometime. I bought, my kids always loved to play Monopoly. I mean, that was a regular Friday night thing. They would have friends come over, would play Monopoly. I had a big long table at that time. Sometimes they would put 2 boards next to each other, and they would play like a figure 8 around these 2 boards. The games never ended. But anyway, I bought my son, when he was in his mid-20s, a Monopoly game that the design was something about car racing. He's a car guy. But anyway, didn't really mean to get off on Monopoly. I'm going to show you our molten loving cakes. I had never had one anywhere, and I'd never made one for sure. It was super simple. I mean, this is the simplest recipe you will ever see, and it turned out really good. Now, I don't like semi-sweet chocolate, and that's what the recipe said to use, is semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's just too chocolatey for me. So next time I'm going to make it with milk chocolate chips and see what it's like. But here comes that video. Just a second. Okay guys, we are going to try molten lava cakes. I have never made these before. But what you need is, 4 tablespoons of butter softened, 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon salt, which I just put in there, 1 1/3 cups of semi-chocolate chips. Becky's going to melt them for me, and 3 eggs. You're supposed to have powdered sugar to sift over the top, but I don't have that, so we're going to do without that. But just a second. Okay, I didn't have a round glass bowl or a round plastic bowl that was clean. You know, that time the shelf tipped over and dumped all my glass bowls on the floor. Well, I haven't replaced those yet. So anyway, I tried to cream the butter and sugar in here. Becky says that's as good as it's going to get. Now, you're supposed to add the eggs one at a time, but I put them in here and mixed them all up. So we're going to just do it all together. As soon as I get this done, then I'll add the flour and the salt. And then Becky's getting the chocolate chips melted for me. So let's see what happens. Okay, this only makes enough for 4 ramekins, which I have over here. I have them sprayed and on a cookie sheet. This is after I put the flour and the salt in. The only thing left is the chocolate chips, so Becky's going to put that. I think you have to get closer to the bowl. I looked down and I saw a string of chocolate. I thought it was on my phone. Okay, when we get that stirred up, blended, I'll put it in the ramekins and then I'll show you. This is enough for 4 ramekins, but it's not a whole lot of batter. Becky said I should have just used a cereal bowl to mix it in. There's a whole bunch of stuff right there. Okay, she's going to get that all blended up for me, and then we'll pour it in the ramekins. Okay, Becky is getting it in the ramekins. After that, we are going to bake it. Oh, you only need them 3/4 of the way full. We are going to bake it for 15 minutes or until the tops of the cake no longer jiggle when you softly wiggle the pan. Let them sit for 10 minutes, and they should, if you take a knife and run around the edge, they should turn out easily. I think we can just eat ours out of the ramekin. And then after the 10 minutes, that's when you're supposed to sift the powdered sugar on top, but we're going to skip that step. Anyway, here's the recipe. 4 tablespoons unsalted butter softened, 1/3 cup sugar, 3 eggs, 1/3 cup flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 1/3 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips melted, 1 tablespoon powdered sugar to sift on the top. Bake it in a 400-degree oven about 15 minutes. We baked these for about 12 minutes, but the top doesn't jiggle, so we took them out. Now we're going to let them cool for 10 minutes, and then we'll do a taste test. Okay, I'm going to eat mine out of the ramekin. I took a knife and went around the edge of Becky's, and it turned out pretty good. So we're going to do a taste test. Becky, you want to taste it?
It's kind of molten. It smells chocolatey. It's really good.
Is it good?
It tastes like a half-baked brownie.
Oh, I have some vanilla bean ice cream you want to put on top?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I guess this recipe was a winner. Talk to you guys later. No chocolate. Okay, guys. I think it's really good, too. Becky says it tastes like molten lava cake she's had in restaurants. I don't really like semi-sweet chocolate chips. I prefer milk chocolate. So next time I'm going to make it with milk chocolate. I mean, it was super easy to mix up. But this is really chocolatey from those semi-sweet chocolate chips. But it's good. All right, guys. That's all I know for this Saturday. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope you get better real soon. I will talk to you guys later. Have a happy Sunday. See ya.